The observation deck of the research station hummed quietly in the artificial night cycle. Commander Jack Torres sat alone, reviewing patrol reports from the Outer Rim colonies when the soft hiss of the door made him look up. Through the dimmed lighting stepped Kira, her tall, slender frame moving with a graceful uncertainty that had become familiar over the past months. Her species, the Velani, possessed an ethereal beauty that reminded humans of ancient mythology. Pale blue skin seemed to glow faintly in starlight, and her large silver eyes held depths that spoke of intelligence far beyond her apparent youth. Tonight, however, those eyes carried something Jack had never seen before: vulnerability. "Can I stay beside you tonight, human?" she asked quietly, her voice carrying the melodic undertones that made Villani's speech sound like distant music. Jack set down his datapad, studying her carefully. In the 6 months since first contact, Kira had served as the primary liaison between her people and the human research team. She had always maintained the composed dignity expected of a Villani diplomat, never showing weakness or uncertainty. This was different. "Of course," Jack replied, gesturing to the seat beside him. "What's troubling you?" Kira moved to the observation window, her reflection ghost-like against the star field beyond. The binary suns of the Kepler system cast long shadows across the station's hull, creating patterns of light and darkness that seemed to shift with her mood. "My people are leaving," she said simply. "The High Council has decided that humans are too dangerous to maintain contact with. They fear what your species might become." Jack felt his heart sink. The Velani represented humanity's first peaceful contact with an advanced alien civilization. Their departure would set back interstellar relations by decades. More personally, he had come to value Kira's friendship, her unique perspective on the universe, and the quiet moments they shared discussing philosophy and exploration. "What changed their minds?" he asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. "The war reports from the Centauri colonies," Kira replied, confirming his fears. "When the hegemony attacked your settlements, your people didn't just defend themselves. They pursued the enemy across 3 star systems, dismantled their entire military infrastructure, and forced a surrender that left their civilization in ruins. The Council believes this demonstrates a fundamental aggression that makes humans unsuitable as allies." Jack nodded grimly. The Hegemony War had been humanity's first major interstellar conflict. When the reptilian hegemony had launched unprovoked attacks against human colonies, killing thousands of civilians, humanity's response had been swift and overwhelming. The military campaigns that followed showcased human tactical brilliance, technological adaptation, and an unwavering determination to protect their own. "They see only the destruction," Jack said, "not the families we were protecting." "I tried to explain," Kira said, turning from the window. "I told them about the human concept of proportional response, about how your species escalates only when threatened, about the mercy you showed to hegemony civilians, even while dismantling their war machine. But they fear what they call the human capacity for controlled violence." The irony wasn't lost on Jack. Humanity had spent centuries learning to channel their aggressive instincts into constructive purposes. They had evolved from tribal warfare to global cooperation, from planetary conflicts to interstellar exploration. Yet when threatened, that ancient fire still burned, carefully controlled but undeniably present. "What about you?" Jack asked. "Do you believe we're too dangerous?" Kira was quiet for a long moment, her silver eyes reflecting the starlight. When she spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "I have watched your people for months now. I have seen Dr. Kim work 18-hour days to develop medical treatments for my people's genetic disorders. I have watched Engineer Lopez risk his life to repair our damaged ships. I have observed Captain Rodriguez negotiate trade agreements that benefit both our species equally, even when he could have demanded more favorable terms. She moved closer, taking the seat beside him that he had offered earlier. But I have also seen the recordings from the Hegemony War. I watched human soldiers fight with a precision and intensity that my people cannot comprehend. I saw your Admiral Chun outmaneuver enemies with tactical brilliance that our greatest military minds called impossible. I witnessed the systematic dismantling of an entire interstellar empire by a species that had only reached the stars 50 years ago. Jack waited, knowing there was more. My people are afraid because they cannot understand how a species can be both so gentle and so devastating. They see contradiction where I see balance. They see threat where I see protection. They cannot comprehend that humans can be fierce guardians and peaceful explorers simultaneously. And that's why you can't leave with them, Jack realized. Kira nodded. The Council has forbidden further contact. They expect me to return with the diplomatic fleet tomorrow. But I believe they are wrong. I believe humanity represents something my people need to understand, not flee from. Staying means giving up everything, Jack pointed out. Your family, your world, your future among your own people. Perhaps, Kira said. Or perhaps it means helping to build a bridge between our species that future generations will thank us for. Someone must be willing to take that risk. Jack looked out at the stars, thinking of all the civilizations that might be out there, watching humanity's first steps into the galactic community. Some would see potential allies, others would see threats. The choice of which perspective dominated would shape the future of human space exploration. You know we'll protect you, he said finally. Not because we're aggressive, but because that's what humans do for people we care about. I know, Kira replied, and for the first time that evening, she smiled. That's exactly why I need to stay. Outside the observation deck, the binary suns began to rise, casting new light across the research station. Tomorrow would bring new challenges as the Valani fleet departed and Kira began her new life among humans. But tonight, in the quiet companionship of two beings from different worlds who had found common ground among the stars, the future seemed full of possibility, not the human capacity for controlled violence that so frightened the Valani. Council was matched by an equally powerful capacity for loyalty, sacrifice, and hope. As Kira settled into her chair beside Jack to watch the sunrise, she understood that she had chosen not just to stay with humans, but to believe in them. And in that choice, perhaps, lay the seeds of a greater understanding between the stars.